on free will. If there's no free will, then why is there karma? Could we say that negative karma is the result of our own ignorance, from which came our misdeeds, which were a result of our will? So hey, Michael W. So karma is an interesting subject, right? So what do they mean by karma? So to me, karma is like cause and effect. So if I hit you in the face, then there is going to be karma from that. If I do steal money, then there's going to be karma from that, whether I'm caught. Yes, I think it's back in. Yeah, sorry, my computer stopped charging, and then when I plugged it in, it knocked out my camera. So yeah, so karma to me is like an action. So if you steal money, then more than likely there's going to be karma for that. There's not going to be good karma for that. It will more than likely be a negative karma. Even though you might have the joy of spending it, mentally the act of stealing, dependent on what happens, but more than likely, I mean, it could be if you're like in a really desperate situation in a country with lots of poverty, then there might not be such big karma. But normally the act of stealing comes with like lack of empathy for other people, which most probably will come with lots of suffering in itself, because if you have lack of empathy for other people, then you'll find it harder to form relationships, etc., etc. So there'll be difficulties there. So that is karma. And it's not good or bad, because the thief that steals the money can't help but steal the money. So if you think about my dog is made up to be a meat eater. So if I presented her with a carrot and a chicken, she's going to pick the chicken because of her genetics predominantly, but then also because that's what she's used to, and so her social conditioning as well. Like karma, karma is something that happens, and we all have our own karma, but we can't help the decisions we make. So if you are a thief, it's more than likely that you're brought up in that situation. Maybe there's a situation where you've got no other choice, or you feel that you've got no other choice. And it's not actually that person's fault. It's a happening. It's something which appears in them. So you could look in the timeline as to tell their story, but also in the moment, it's a happening. It's not the free will of somebody. Like, who is this somebody with free will? They're a set of habits and conditions, and they have no control over that. There can be seeming control, so there could be somebody that seemingly has control, so they go to therapy, or they go to try and change their behavior, or they go on a government program so they can begin to have more skills so they can get a job. So there can be change, but that's not actually somebody. That again is karma. That again is habits and conditioning, that they were lucky enough to have the conditioning to change their current set of circumstances. So karma is life. We all have karma. Like, I think I was listening to a story that had like an Islamic basis, and like a saying that they had is all is God, or all is God's will. I can't remember the saying. They said it was really beautiful. It's like all is the flow of God. And that can't be changed. The freedom comes when you detach from that karma. It's not a you that detaches, but the consciousness that is locked into the person. So it feels like consciousness is somebody's, it belongs to somebody. When that separates, and it's an energetic shift, and then that consciousness becomes the experiencer, and the body's still going to have karma. There's that really beautiful story where I really bastardize everyone's names because I can never remember it, from Buddhism, where there is this guy like Arachnagona. He lives in the woods. He used to be, I think he was a university professor, and then he realized, or he got this delusion that in order to work out a particular formula, he had to go into the forest and kill 100 people and cut off their little finger and wear it in a necklace around his neck. So he did that, and he got to number 99. So he got 99 little fingers. And then the Buddha was going to walk through the forest, and all the villagers were like, "Don't go through that forest. Arachnagona lives in there," and he chops off people's fingers and he kills them. And the Buddha just shrugs, and then he begins to walk through the forest. And Arachnagona's like, "Yes, my last victim." And so he begins to run to try to catch up with the Buddha, to kill him and to chop off his little finger and put it around his neck. And he runs and he runs and runs, but no matter how fast he runs or how long he runs, he can't catch up with the Buddha. And eventually he says to the Buddha, "Stop, I can't catch up with you." And the Buddha returns and turns around and says, "It is you that's moving too fast. I am perfectly still." That's so beautiful. I am perfectly still, because it means Buddha nature. So then Arachnagona falls on his knees and gets enlightened and realizes what the Buddha says and becomes the Buddha's disciple. But every town they go to, people know who Arachnagona is, and he's maybe killed a family member or people have heard about him, so people throw rocks at him. And the Buddha said, "And this is the karma of the body." And that was the karma of his body. I'm not saying that that's right, that's what we should do, but that's just a story to give an example of karma. Beautiful.